Well, I would say this. I think that, one, we obviously want to get the files out there. We believe in transparency, not just on this issue, but also on spending. This reason why we're pushing the DOJ so hard to get rid of the waste and fraud and programs like USAID. But remember, what James Comer did in the Oversight Committee is he said, let's get all the information. Remember, Massey and others, they just wanted a part of the information. What we have been able to do now is open up it all, including the Epstein documents himself, and going into justice files. So we are the party of transparency. I know that Thomas Massey loves the camera, but the man who made this happen was Donald Trump. And if they really had something on the president, they would have used it in the last election. I am confident that these files will actually exonerate the president of anything. And we're going to find out who the real bad guys are now that all the files are out, as the president smartly signed the bill into law.
Yeah, it should be up to 30 days, could be sooner than that. The DOJ has that decision. Okay, I got to move to Congressman Corey Mills, if I can, making news, and where you stand with that. The House Ethics Committee voting to do this, establish an investigative subcommittee examining some allegations made against the Florida Republican that he allegedly broke campaign finance law, engaged in sexual misconduct and dating violence. Again, so it's staying with the House Ethics Committee to investigate the allegations only at this point. But you bring up, or it's brought up by the New York Times of Nancy Mace, and Mace and Mills had somewhat of a drama, if you will, on the House floor about this. Where do you fall on this potential, or that censure vote that happened, and these investigations playing into Congressman Mills?
Well, look, I think that we made the right decision last night. Let's send this to the Ethics Committee and make sure all the facts come out. Congressman Mills has not been convicted of anything, as you know,
right.
Very much different than the New York situation a couple years ago. But this is why we have the committee. We need to find this out. Congressman Mills is willing to go before his peers and all of this information come out. I think the best disinfectant and the best way to find truth is to have a full investigation here and let the cards fall as they may. And Congressman Mills will, of course, defend himself and the accusations we made. And that Ethics Committee, its job is to simply look and say, what are the facts? And then we, as an overall House of Representatives, will meet to take a verdict once we found out all the information, as opposed to just one side at this point.
Now, do you have any issue of the delegate of the Virgin Islands, Stacey Plaskett, reportedly texting with Jeffrey Epstein in 2019 during the Michael Cohen hearing? It's time-stamped. You can see that. There's a censure vote there. Where were you on that? Can you explain?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, this person is on the Intel Committee. I mean, this is the most sacred of our committees, protecting America's secrets, and we want the most capable people there. And you saw a situation where this woman knew, this member who's from the Virgin Islands, knew that this person's a convicted pedophile. And here she is texting, and their excuse for this, or their defense for this, is he's a constituent. I mean, it's nonsensical. And so, look, this is how the Democrat Party operates. They protect their own. And then the reality is there. I voted to censor her and take her off the Intel Committee. I would think the Democrats would have some more ethical folks who don't communicate directly with known pedophiles, especially on a sensitive case like that, to put on the Intel Committee. I hope that they make a change there so they put maybe a more ethical member on that particular committee.
It's so interesting because we just had Congressman Dan Muser, who shared the exact opposite and said that, you know, you text with constituents each and every day. And I mentioned even in a committee hearing, he said yes. Is that true?
Look, I get texts all day long, and I put my number out there to folks. But if I usually don't text and get advice of questioning from known pedophiles. I don't do that. And we always take suggestions from constituents what we pride ourselves on. But in this case, she knew she was doing the wrong thing. It was all political. It was anything to take down Donald Trump. It's what Trump derangement syndrome is all about. It's almost the Communist Manifesto. The ends justify the means, and they're willing to do anything to tear down our president, who has brought America back. We're finally respected abroad. We see the stock market with strong numbers throughout the year, and interest rates are down, gas prices are down, and we're just trying to, clean up the mess from 4 years of failure.
Sure.
And all they care about is politics. And I'm not going to stand and let them do that.
Agreed. All right, Congressman Mike Haridopolos joining us with that. Always great to see you. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for your time. Have a good day.
You too. As we
Information, truth, is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.